I'm gonna use, these are the colors we're gonna use, Christine, for your ear. And Liz, if you wanted to also, this will be good information for you too, for when you get started with your portraits. Um, you, yes, yeah, you can only hear me. Yeah, you can. I mean, you can chat, but you can't speak. Um, so I'll be doing most of the talking as usual, right? Okay, this is my titanium white, right, for the ear. Um, and then I'm gonna have some cadmium yellow. All right, and I'm doing this based on the picture that I sent you, um, Christine. Okay, remember the picture I sent you? I'm gonna have cadmium red or cadmium orange. If you have cadmium orange, you can use cadmium orange. And I'm gonna mix these two, make an orange. There I have those two. I am going to use also, I'm gonna use green, but I'm gonna use maybe some cerulean. That's what I'm gonna use. I'm gonna use some cerulean blue. Where's my cerulean blue? Or maybe Taylor green. Maybe let's try Taylor green. Okay. Put a little bit of Taylor green and a little bit of black. Oh, because this black, which is ivory black, it's when you mix it with white. Where's my white? When you mix it with white, I have two palettes. I have one on my table. That's why this is the part that you can't see. Can you hear me okay? Is the volume okay? My house is surprisingly quiet today. My wife went to pick up my kids, and the dogs are with the storm. After the storm, they fell asleep, and they don't. Oh, good. Oh, Bobby's here. Hey, Bobby. Oh, what are you doing today? Are you working today? Or are you off today? Okay, so I want some kind of a grayish green for the shadows, okay? So that's what I'm doing. I'm mixing here. Driving home with careful. Careful if you're driving and watching. Oh, good for you. I need a restock. All right, don't get a ticket, Bobby. All right. So this palette is gonna be like, basic like skin tones. Okay, so we're gonna start from there. And by the way, you'll be able to watch this later because I'm gonna upload it to YouTube, and you can watch it later if you need to reference it, for yourself. So now, so now, so the basics for the skin tones are going to be my mid-tone, as you remember, and I'm using linseed oil as a right now as a medium. Okay, I'm not gonna use liquid right now. You can't hear me? Oh, oh, I wonder why. I wonder why. Um, what about you, Bobby? Can you hear me, Bobby? Can you hear me okay? All right. So, and I think I showed this to Bobby too. Yeah. Yeah, you can hear me well. Also, it might be something with your phone, Liz. I'm not sure. Uh, and Whitney can hear me. Hi, Whitney. So, here's my basic mid-tone, right? So, I get a, this is a cadmium red and cadmium yellow. So I get an orange, and then I mix it with a little bit of white. And this is the base for my skin mid-tone color, right? Depending, of course, on the type of skin and the type of picture reference that you're using. But this is a good start as a base color, right? It's probably even lighter. So I will say maybe like 60-70% white and 40% of the orangey color. So this variation, it's less in the witness protection. That's funny. Maybe I don't think so. I don't think it has nothing to do with your battery. I don't know. I really don't know what it could be. Um, all right. So then, Whitney, where I Liz. So yes, I have another list. That's right. I I just remember like witness protection program. That yeah, yes, I remember that. That's an inside joke for so Liz is yes. So Liz is so everybody knows Liz is from my Tuesday class on my plein air class in Daytona. So that's what I was like. I was wondering. Now I have two Liz's on the chat. All right. So and I know, Liz, that this is not what we're doing, doing plein air, but it could help you too if you ever want to paint portraits. The concepts are the same, and the color theory is the same. Okay, so that's my this is my basic skin tone, right? Base. Now, for the shadows, it's similar. So you grab the same color, right? And these are my favorite brushes, Christine. You see, I'm using my favorite brushes. The shadows, you can get the same color, more intense, and then just mix it with this greenish gray. So you get this kind of a green type of a color. Then if it's too saturated, add a bit more of this mixture of black and white. So, but it's better to have the colors more saturated than less saturated, and then you can desaturate after, right? So I can put some of this red color here. Okay, good. You hear me on your phone. Good. Man, I wish I had Wanda commenting here because because I know she's got some good comments. Hopefully for our next online session, we can do that. All right. So this is the transition that I have. I put a little bit more red to balance the green, right? So it's not so green. So shadows and midtones and lights. I think we'll keep it simple this time. Now let's work on that ear, and I know that Kristen, you're gonna be working with in a very small. I know that the ear that you're painting is a very tiny small one. So it's going to be. It's going to have to be with your tiny little brushes that I swore I was gonna hide them in the bushes. So next time you need to get a larger canvas. Are you gonna get a are you gonna do the other portrait in a larger? I forgot what you said. All right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use this same color midtone base, and I'm gonna draw. And you may have it on your drawn by pencil, which is fine. But I like to I like to do it, straight with the brush. So, and I'm looking at the reference photo that I sent you. So very there it's kind of an ear that it's behind it's like a three-quarter angle of the face. So this is the ear, and maybe I can turn my camera. I'm gonna turn my camera so you can all see. So that's the reference photo that I'm using. And there. Okay. There. So and Kristen is doing a portrait of her granddaughter. So okay. So basic drawing. Do the large shapes first. There, and painting an ear is always such an abstract type of endeavor. It's such an odd shape. Okay, so, and here's gonna be the darkest darks of the ear, right? So I'm gonna put more red here and more green, so I can make more of a chromatic black. Okay. There, so that's that. And as I get closer to the light, I start adding more red. All right. And there. All right. So now I will start with all the areas that are like stronger in terms of saturation of color, which is here. There's a lot of red here, and there's a lot of deep, rich red, which is where the blood flow is. There. By the way, feel free to ask me questions or interrupt if you need if you want to know something. All right, so that you can also use. I'm using cadmium red, but Indian red will work nicely here too. Or English red, they call it too. All right, and if you notice, well, I'm gonna push some yellow here as I get closer to the light. And I know that the colors look very intense right now, but I do that on purpose because it's easier to lower the saturation after than do it during, on the first pass, if you will. I'm gonna grab some of this green here because the this shadow starts getting really, really dark here. Yeah. There, I put my darkest areas here. Well, my darkest darks here. And at this stage is I try to stay away from mixing my whites, especially when I have such an intense colors, because I don't want them to get muddy. There, and all on this area is gonna be very, very clean colors here. So and for those that don't know, I'm always painting with two brushes. So I have my dark color brushes and my light color brushes. So I don't have to wash them or clean them every time. So I'm very careful with when I use white in at this stage, just a little bit to just lighten it and get this color here. I wonder if I can zoom in. Oh yeah, I can zoom in, cool. Oh, even better. Okay. All right. Very bright, intense color, Christine. All right, pushing my reds here. Not as dark as this, if you notice, right? I'm trying to make a difference. It is intense, you know, it has a little bit of white. It is intense, but it's not as dark, right? And I bring it here. There's light coming from this side. So now it's important when you're painting skins, always start with a surface or a base that is not pure white. And I'll explain you why in a minute. And I'm not putting very heavy impasto paint. It's almost it's almost like it's not a glaze, it's not transparent, but it's a thin layer. And here I'm going to start lifting up the highlights. Well, the first thing I'm gonna do before I do that is I'm gonna establish my lightest light right now. So I'm gonna go with almost pure white, never pure white, but almost pure white here. You see, probably like a 90% white. And then hit this highlight here. And now this is the reason why you wanna start with a darker canvas, because if you notice the contrast, if this was all like white, you know, it would be hard to see this highlight. It would be hard to gauge the intensity. So I can get all this very, very intense color or light. Maybe I put a tiny bit of yellow, just a tiny bit, just so it feels like it's warmer there. And I'm not mixing the colors in between. I'm doing, it's almost like a very sharp edge here. I can blend that later, but for now, I just want to leave it like that. Okay. And I'm gonna bring this highlight all the way based according to my photo reference. Is that here? And there's a transition color in between here. And that I can mix here a little bit of the same white and just lower the intensity of this orange here. So it's more on the yellow side. All right. And now I can start blending here, even though that the ear is gonna have a sharp edge here, so I can blend this color and get some more red here. And remember, when you're painting, you're always trying to simplify what you see. You know, I'm not putting every exact detail of what I see. Just I want to get like big masses, big shapes first, so it will make sense to me. And then if I want to later, I can start adding like the smaller details and the smaller nuances of separations and differences of colors. But I want to have first a good base. You notice I you use more white than you will think when you're doing this. Oh goodness, Wanda's here. Good deal. Hi, Wanda. You made it happen. Good. All right. I bring back the white. Here I'm putting a lot more paint because this is my lightest light here, so. And when you're painting this, sometimes you feel like your white is not covering enough, or you may put this white and then it feels so very transparent. And one of the reasons that that can happen is that you may the brand of paint that you're using doesn't have, it has too much filler, so it starts making everything too transparent. So the one that I just bought, I bought this on Amazon, and it's Lucas 1862, and I like it. I like titanium white for this brand for this, and it was at a good price too. All right. All right, so now here, this area is it's not in light as this, it's more in shadow. So I want to say, it has a little bit more green, but not too much. Put a little bit more oil here so it can glide better. Oops, that's too much green. I don't know, it's more pinkish. So let's bring some of this white here. So it's this white and this pink. Yeah, that's much better color. That's a much better color. There. And it goes this way. Now notice that I'm going to use my brush is not, I'm not painting down, so now I'm painting up because the color goes into it and it just disappears. Right? So when I do that brush stroke, I can only do it once, and then I have to load my brush again and then pick it up and do it again. Same thing here. Because if I start working the brush here too much, it will start getting very muddy. It will pick up too much of the color underneath. So now I can blend this edge. And I'm gonna leave this of a sharper edge, and this is more of a blended edge. Okay. You're getting an earful, yes. Yes. Well, I wonder if Kristen's still around. Is she still around? Okay. All right, now this color and these colors are quite similar. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to add a bit more chroma here. These two colors here. It's a bit more of the orange color here. Just to separate these two. And on the edge, I'm gonna be very careful to just smooth it out. I don't like to use those fan brushes that they blend the colors. I like to put brush strokes together, and I like to see the brush strokes when I'm doing this. So some people like to use a fan brush for that. Okay, so and then here, there's some of that orange. All right. Now this area has a cast of a greenish light, and which is because it's in shadow. So I'm gonna grab some of this green and then just paint here. I put some of that, and it's probably more intense than what's on the picture, but that's okay. So I like to emphasize this. There. And now I can blend this edge. All right. All right, I'm gonna work now on this part. And again, if you notice, I'm only using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 colors. I mean, consider that this was a gray, so. All right. This is in shadow, so it's on the darker side. It's still warm. There. And bring this red here. All right, this can go darker here now. Well, before I do that, let me clean my palette here, because this has a bit too much white here, so I'm gonna put more red. All right, so then I'm going more of this chromatic black with green and red, because as you know, they cancel each other out, right? So they're very intense red here still. Kristen, when you paint this, you just work with the intensity of the colors that you have on your painting. So once you put this, if you feel that it's too hot, you know, compared to the rest of your composition, you can, you know, always mute it a bit with some gray. So here, there's light here. There's light, and here it's the ears. This shape is turning, right? So this is going to be in shadow. So I'm gonna hit that with a bit of gray, a green, grayish green. And I can blend this. Okay, I like where it's going. I'm looking at my, I know you're not seeing my reference picture, but I will put it side to side when I'm done. I'm gonna work on this part and in this area, and I think that will be enough for what you're doing, Kristen, because your ear is probably such a tiny. It's probably not even what, half an inch size, so I don't think you will be able to put much detail on it. And this is all in shadows, so I'm gonna get some of this with a bit of green. And this is more pinkish, so let's grab some of this, a bit of white here, because there's more blood flow here, so. And this is more orange here. And I'm gonna bring this color here. Here's where the skin starts getting cooler. This will need more of this This color, it's a cooler color here. Same thing here. All right. And we'll bring this color here. Now this skin is gonna match what you had on the on your painting, Christine. All right. Put some of that orange here. And even in the shadows, you need to lift up highlights, right? So there will be cooler highlights, so it's more of a this red, almost like an alizarin color. You know, alizarin is it's a cool red, so that's around here. Maybe a bit more white. Okay. Just ever so careful with when you use white here, because it can get muddy really quickly. That's a good color here. All right, and here's a bit more yellow, but still on the cooler side. It's almost like green here. All right. Yeah. Same thing here. Here. All right. So there's a lot of colors here. If you notice, I mean, oh, one more thing here. I think this highlight continues here. Okay, that continues here. Yeah, and if I squint, I see a bit of white here. Okay, so blood flow here, light, and I will say the last touch will be some of this kind of like ochre color here. And then some of this red. Oh, good. I'm happy to hear that, Liz. I know that it's not your what you're working on right now, but we'll get there. We'll get to you soon. All right, so there. That could be it. All right, so after you do all this, I think you can refine it and add more details to less. But this is good enough base for you to have clean colors, and even once it dries, you can just glaze on top and do all different kinds of things with this. But this gives you the intensity that you need to work the rest of the piece. Now let me bring the picture here. Bring the picture next to it. So let's see if I can put them both together. I know it's hard to see, and of course the iPad. Oops, the iPad has they make the screen makes the colors with light, right? So it would always look brighter and more intense than when you're painting, when you're mixing, because you're using pigments. So okay, so that's Kristen's side. Now I'm gonna go move into Wanda. Wanda, are you there? Where are you, Wanda? Let me move this. Move the camera. Yes. Yes, Wanda's there. All right. So Wanda, you're working on those trees, right? And I don't know if you did anything to them, but I'm gonna show you how to do them. I'm gonna show you how to do them from the stage that you have them right now. So let me pull up your picture. Okay. So a lot of pine trees and different greens. I'm going to clean this up. I'm gonna clean this up. Well, let's take a. I am here, but in 2 rooms. You're in 2 rooms. Wow. Okay. Let me take a minute because my wife, she just texted me. She said, check the chicken. If I don't check the chicken, then we may not have lunch. So let me check the chicken. Be right back. All right, the chicken is okay. So no problems there. All right, let me clean this up. Probably not gonna use much of this color. So sometimes I like to just start all over again when I'm doing something different. And for this exercise, I'm going to move this here. I'm gonna use acrylics. And the reason why I'm gonna use acrylics first is because you already have a layer of color that you put on for your trees, Wanda. So I don't wanna have to wait for the oil paint to dry right now. So I'm gonna do the base layer in acrylic so you can see, so I can kind of copy of what you have, and then work from there. So it's got, I believe you use some green and some black or blue. I can't recall very well, but it was maybe Taylor green and black. All right. Yeah, I think that will do. Maybe a little bit of Taylor blue too. All right. And so the trees are divided usually. Where's my brush? I think I can use this brush. Nope. All right, here. So you have something along the lines of, so you have the trunk of the tree, right? And this is, as we talked about, your shadow, right? This is a, remind me you go for this picture. Was this Yellowstone? You had this beautiful picture of a lake and a river, and you have, this is your base color. So it was a bluish, blackish green. It's not black. It's not black. It's not deep black. And this is, I divide the trees into three different stages, if you will. So it's the darks, the shadows, the midtones, and the lights. All right, so this is basically what you have as a base, right, for your trees. Probably darker. That's it. So it's almost like watercolor, right? It's almost like watercolor. And here are the branches of the trees. There. Oh, maybe even darker. Maybe a tad darker. Especially in the trunk. Right? There. And this formula also works for palm trees. You use Ultramarine, lemon yellow, cadmium. Yep. I remember. And yes, and Viridian. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a good. Oh, I'm glad that you mentioned that. Yeah, because I do need to put a bit of Viridian here. Where's my Viridian? Yes, a bit of Viridian. Yes, thank you for mentioning that. Yeah, I always like to put a few touches of red when I'm working with too much green. Red helps to offset the colors, so it doesn't. So it feels more natural. It doesn't look so artificial, you know. It's like a it's hard to explain when it looks like when the greens are just straight out of the tube, kind of a feeling that you can tell that it's not, there wasn't much of an idea of a color mixing behind it, and just get whatever green matches what the tree looks like. So, but if you put a bit of red, it's just, yeah. These are lodgepole pines, very specific, yeah. Okay, now let me go get my hair dryer, and we're gonna dry this layer first, okay? Because I know that your layer is already dry. Okay, I'm gonna make a little bit of noise, okay? Bear with me. So the second layer, I'm gonna use a, I'm still gonna use a acrylic just to speed it up. Um, and I'm gonna use a fan brush. You see how this all raggedy fan brush? It's one of my favorites for painting trees. Um, and now I'm gonna work on the midtones, and I'm gonna add the second layer will be we'll have a little bit more, what you say, lemon yellow. Yes, lemon yellow. Lemon yellow or yellow medium, maybe yellow medium. Okay. Actually, I'm gonna put the colors here, and again, I'm gonna be using acrylics for now. Okay, just so we can go faster with this. People are gonna ask me, why don't we do this in class? Why don't we use acrylic in class? I guess we could, but I want you to learn oils, and I want you to learn how they behave first, and then you can adapt and think and change what you need to change, or if you need to work on an image faster than usual, you can now. All right, so this obviously is very intense and bright. It has it's so makes a bit of black in it, because this ivory black has blue in it. Okay, some of this yellow. And what I'm looking at your picture, it's very bluish. The pine tree is kind of a bluish type of a green. All right, let me see. Maybe a bit more yellow. And you know what? I'm gonna put a touch of white. All right. So the green that I'm using, Wanda, is the what do I call it? Viridian. I mean, Viridian. Not Viridian. Talo green. Yeah. Talo green, and then with a little bit of ultramarine blue and cadmium yellow medium and a touch of white. All right. So it's not so intense. And actually, I'm gonna use a smaller brush in this case for this, because this tree is kind of small. So here, I get some of this color here, and just lifting those highlights, okay? And I know that in your case, your trees are larger, so I don't have a smaller brush than this. Oh no, I do. Yeah, this one's smaller, especially for this part. Can you make the branches more horizontal so I can see shading? More horizontal. horizontal, yes, yes. Oh, you know what? Let me mix more paint because I just ran out. Should have mixed some more. All right, so there, and some black. I know it's kind of hard to see on the camera. Maybe I can zoom in a bit more. Yeah, yeah, um, they are more stacked. Yeah. There. I think that you can see it. Well, right now I'm not too concerned about the way that the branches are stacked because I'm building the the body of the tree, right? So they're kind of stacked. You know, I'm using like more like horizontal type of a brush stroke, but I'm not gonna put emphasis just yet until I do it with the highlights. So right now I'm just building the body, and that's all I'm gonna put here. You see? All right. And but yes, I am using my fan brush like this. You know, not vertical, but horizontal. See, there. And and all this you can get really into it with the smaller brushes, and I will show you now. I will show you how to do that. So, all right, once I have that, that's stage 2, and now I'm gonna make again a little bit of noise. I'm gonna dry this. I feel like I'm painting a Christmas tree. All right, that's good enough. All right, so now we can get into what you're saying about the stacked branches. And for that, I'm gonna use a flat brush. And here now I'm gonna use oils because this will be for me the last stage. Um, but again, you can do this in acrylics. I think it's easier to do them in acrylics in that sense, or at least get them started in acrylics. Um, now, one of the things that you always have to kind of keep in mind is, you know, when you're switching mediums, remove your paint because you will forget, and then you're gonna mix oils with acrylics, and it's gonna it has this, when you mix them, when you paint, you mix both mediums, they start getting this weird, like a bubble gum consistency, and then you realize you've made a big mistake. All right. All right, so this is my brush. Where is it? Yeah, here. There. So it's a flat brush, you see? It's a flat nylon brush. Bristle brushes, natural brushes, you can't get such a sharp. See, this is the flat bristle brush, and compare. You see how you can't get as sharp of an edge, especially for this size painting. If it was a larger painting, sure, you can go with bristle, but now I'm gonna use this nylon brush and get onto the highlights, which I think it's some yellow, and I'm gonna use some permanent green, Might be a little bit too intense here. So I can mix this too. Let's see what I get. Okay. Okay, and some gray. Let me get rid of my acrylic here on my table too. A little bit of black here. All right, so because I don't want it too intense. And yeah, some white. Let's see. And now you can work this with the edge of your brush. And now you can stack them, right? And you can get all the way to the edge if you wanted it to. And when you're doing this, look at this area. See, I know it's kind of hard to see in the camera, but this area is almost like black dark with some red. Leave that, and then just go on top of where your midtone is. Because you want to have some deep shadows on the tree, right? So you just use the edge of your brush for this. Will sap be sap green? You could use sap green. Sap green is a warmer green. For what I see here, it's more of a bluish green. So, but yeah, I think sap green could work if it's not too warm. At the same time, when I'm stacking this, I'm dragging down. You see how I'm doing this? I'm dragging them down. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit more. There. All right, and I'm even using like the edge of the angle of the brush here. And not loading my brush too much. Now, here's one thing you can do when you're doing this tree. Let me adjust here. All right, so let's say you're working on this and you're lifting up the highlights, right? So you can carry the highlights all the way to the other side, right? Always, again, remember to leave gaps, of shadow in between, right? Don't cover the whole thing. There. You can bring it out to here. And you can use the edge. I know these are tiny brushes, it's kind of hard to see, but you can use the edge here. So it doesn't look like a perfect straight line, right? So once you load your brush, if you run out of paint, you can turn it around and use the other side. Right. Okay, so now you said, okay, so I have this whole thing with this, which is the same light. So once this dries, you can come and you can glaze a color only on half of the tree, because the tree, for what I see on your reference picture, the tree it's a cylinder, right? So it's a cylinder that has light on this side and then shadow on this side. So you can, ever so careful, just glaze, maybe just some Viridian with a bit of a glycerin, and just mute this half of the tree down, maybe just a couple notches down, just so you get that feeling of light on this side and dark on this side, instead of darkening this color mixture and then putting the darks here. I mean, you can do that, but I think it's a lot more complex because it's more this transition is a lot more subtle. So, and it will be a lot faster for you to just complete all this, complete the whole tree, and then just glaze on top than just darkening. Because if you start darkening this color, the first things you're gonna think is, okay, how do I darken this green? Maybe I'll add some red, and then you'll add some black, and it will start looking muddy, and you won't be able to fine tune it as well as if it was glazed. Because let's say you glaze a color here, let's say you glaze a green and red, and then it's too dark, you can come with a rag and wipe it and say, okay, and then just balance it out. So, ooh, my phone, the battery's, I'm at 20%. Hold on. Let me plug in my battery, so I don't want it to die. So that will be my, that will be the way that I hope it makes sense for you to want that. There, we just have the battery going now. Is it going? Bear with me, guys. Is battery working or not? Okay, let me get this. I just need to plug my phone, okay? All right. There we go. Okay. All right. I hope that makes sense. Yeah. Well, you can use a liquid. You can use liquid for it, and just get a nice chromatic black, but with more towards the green, right? And use it on one side, and see how it feels. And that technique is actually really cool because you can even like test it with blue. Like let's say you have a nice ultramarine blue on top of this, and you realize, oh wow, it's getting, because in the tree that you have in your picture, there's some areas that are bluish, and so it gives you a lot of more possibilities, especially when you're getting down to this area. Then because then you have this bright color tree here. It's more like a shrub there, right? It's like this color. So then you can, and this is, you can use your fan brush for this. So then you have this color here, right? And then so in this area it's maybe like bluish or bluer, right? And I'm just gonna lift this up too. There. All right. Liquid, yes, liquid. Where's my liquid? Oh, I don't have it here. I don't have liquid here. But you have it. I know you do. Okay, so that's for the trees. I know you have a bunch of different trees with different color greens. So some of them are bluer, some of them are warmer. You need to sharpen your eye for that. Work on those trees, and let me know how it goes, and we'll bring it back on. Then we'll talk about the gravel, and then we'll talk about the sand and all that. But well, really quickly, if you work on the gravel, if you wanna get the gravel started, okay? So since it's closer to you, it's more of a warmer type of a brown base color, and I think you already have that, right? So you have. Let me change this here. So let's say you have this base color for the gravel, right? I'm using black and a bit of what is that? Van Dyke brown, or more like a yellow ochre, right? Transparent, very transparent. Then I would grab this paper towel and just kind of like There. All right, you can then create a mixture of oh, can't see it. Let me move this. There. Okay, grab some white. And even the same mixture, you can use it just to lift up some highlights for the rocks. And I'm using this brush, which is a round brush. I mean, it's all up to you about how much detail you want to put on the gravel, right? So I personally don't like to paint every tiny little pebble, but you can suggest it, right, with this brush strokes here, because then with this mixture, which is not pure white, right? It's you're mixing this same color underneath with some white. You can, just give the effect of gravel. Artists, we don't paint every little leaf and every little rock to make a painting believable, right? So now, same idea. You have this, you have the gravel, same as you have this color. Now, once it's dry, you can glaze colors on top. You can blues, reds, yellows, whatever you want, and you can make that gravel like really, change colors because you already have your values established here, right? So this is a good starting point. So you can do that for the gravel. Yeah, I know it's rather gray. It's rather gray, but you can add color if you wanted it to. And I just realized that the picture, as I zoom in on your picture, it's raining, or there's some drops of water. So that's pretty cool. All right. We're at 79, 80 minutes. Wow. Thank you for keeping up with me, guys. It's been interesting, and we had a rocky start, but I think I hope it's really it's valuable for you, and it makes sense. I know it's not the same as when we're painting in the studio, and then and I can actually show you on the canvas, but it was a stormy day, so I understand all that. All right, I'm gonna move on to Liz. I'm gonna take a little mini break and check on the chicken again, and I'll be right back. And Liz, we're gonna talk about the sky. So if you wanna have your colors out for that, if you wanna test them and try them, give me just 1 minute. Okay, I'm back. So let me pull up Liz's photo. Give me just 1 second. I'm gonna move things around here, and we're gonna talk a little bit about the basis for sky. And you know what? I'm just gonna get another canvas. Let me get another canvas for this. And I have to show you what I use, for like this quick demos. This canvas, well, I get this canvases from Hobby Lobby, the canvas pads, and I use this primer, acrylic spray, which it works really well and it dries really fast. I'll show you. Let me bring it. So they have different brands, but I really like this brand in particular. So you'll find it in Hobby Lobby. And so this one, it's a medium gray. You see the color here. And they come in all different kinds of colors. But what's cool about it, it's, as you can see, it's acrylic. So it's acrylic spray. So it dries very quickly. And it has this matte type of a finish. And for this type of a demo, or if you want something, you want to sketch something quick, it gives a very even surface, no brush marks or anything like that. So, and it's at Hobby Lobby. So Liz, okay, let me. Where's your picture? Could you show that again? Oh, the spray. Okay, yeah, it's here. It's called Iron Lac acrylic spray paint. And I will put a link to the spray on the description, so you can find it. There are several different sprays brands, right? So if you look for acrylic spray paint, you could get, but that one is one of my favorites. It's good quality too. It feels good quality. Okay. I hope Liz is still there. I think she's still there, no? All right, well, if she's not, then she can watch this later. So, let me look at her picture. And just so you know, yeah, the other Liz. the other Liz, the one that is painting a sky. Where is Liz from St. Augustine. I have a Liz from Daytona and a Liz from St. Augustine. Let's see what Liz is having a little bit difficulty. You can't hear me, or you can't see me, or you can't see. But remember, you can always rewatch this. You don't have to. If you can't do it now, if you're cooking chicken like me. What time is it? Yeah, whoa, it's almost 2 o'clock. All right, so I see in your case, you have a base, and I know that your picture is very it's very impressionistic, right? So big brush strokes, and so I remember that when we started, I know we should get rid of this green altogether. I'm gonna get rid of this green because we're painting sky. So when you paint sky, green is your enemy. You want to stay away from green as much as possible because you want to have a clean sky. And you know what? I'm gonna get rid of everything here. You know, everything that has green. Because it's very easy to get strange looking green skies when you're mixing blues and yellows, especially if you have a sunset. So what you have on your painting is you have a and I'm going to use bigger brushes just because you're a your painting is a it's less detailed, it's more impressionistic. And I know that you wiped it out. I know that you wanted it to have yes, very in pastel. The chicken's looking good. Actually, you know, I smell it because and you know, I think I'm ready to, but I gotta wait for my family. I don't know where they go. They should have been here by now, but they're not. So, um, yeah, you're welcome to come have chicken at I don't know what time they're gonna be here. Maybe 2:30. I don't know. Oh, they're probably waiting for my other son that he gets out at 3. Oh, maybe that's what they're doing. Um, all right, where's the linseed oil? Where's my linseed oil? All right, and I'm gonna since we're talking about impasto, we're gonna use we're gonna use palette knife for this too because that's what's in the picture. I mean, we're copying the picture, and I know that you're more used to like building layers in terms of like thin layers versus like putting thick paint, and you can do that too to a degree when you're working more impressionistic if you want. So I have my white, I have my yellow, right, which is a warm yellow. Do not use lemon yellow on your sky. I can't stress this enough. Don't stay away from anything that has a green shadow. And I'm gonna explain you now why. Purple. Purple is a very important color when you're painting skies. When you have a sunset or sunrise, and it looks like a cobalt blue. Yeah, it looks like cobalt blue. I like cobalt blue because it's it's an in-between blue, right? I think I've mentioned that before. It's not too warm, it's not too cold. And and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do pre-mix colors here. So that's that color. That's cobalt blue. I'm even going to put some. Oh no, cobalt blue is good. Cobalt, and then premix with just a tiny bit of white and purple, because you can't put the colors straight, you know, from the tube. They will be way too intense. But so you want to pre-mix them on your palette first. You know, add some white to them. And here's when it starts getting tricky. So you have that yellow, and you know you wanted it to be more towards the orange, because the orange will cancel the blue. It won't let it turn into green. So if I were to put blue and yellow together, that's probably a little bit too much. But if you put blue and yellow together, then you know you get green, right? But if you add a touch of orange, that will save you because it has red in it. So that's that. And We'll get some of this yellow here. There. All right. So that's my mixture here for the sky. And then so we do start with the yellow. We do start with the yellow, which is what you have here. You have it's a sunset, right? So you have your horizon will be, I'm gonna use this purple just to draw the horizon line. You can use a ruler for that. All right. So basically you have this yellow that expands and extends, and as it goes away from the center of the sun, starts turning into orange, right? So these are the basic rules of the sky, right? So it turns into orange and extends to the other side too. And again, I'm not mixing the colors together. I'm just put them in side by side, right? Because I don't want him to get muddy. Now, you can put your sun right here, right in the middle. Put some white in it. And once this stage is dry, you can put more. You can make it more intense with a second layer of color. But for now, that's your sun, right? And so the light radiates, right, from the sun to both sides. Now, as it goes away from the sun, and I'm gonna put some red here too. These are basic rules for the sky. It always changes, but this is with this formula, you can make sure that your colors are not gonna be muddy. As it goes away, it starts turning into purple, and you get this color when you mix it with orange. And this is a color we see a lot in the sky, right? And I'm gonna show you what happens. But before that, there it turns into purple, and then these are all clouds. So then you can grab some of this blue for the sky here, and now this could be your sky, right? And now when you mix the blue with this purple orangey, see, it doesn't turn green. You see, you keep your colors pure. Here in the ocean, it's okay. I mean, if it's green, you can bring in some phthalo blue, which it has a green cast. But that's okay because that's the ocean. We're not now working on the sky. And you can, well, let's put that color here first. So you get this phthalo green, and you can add some yellow here because it's the sun. See how it turns green? But it's okay because it's the ocean, right? The ocean has green in it, so there. If you want to counter that, you can touch it with some purple in between, right? And then you have the reflection, but I'm not gonna do the reflection just yet. I know it looks very dark, so well, let's fix that. And the camera looks extremely dark. Like, wow. Well, here, yeah, that's much better. Here you can see it a lot better. All right. So that's that. So yes, it's greener, but it's not. You don't want to get green on the clouds. In the ocean, it's okay. On the clouds, it's not okay. Which color yellow? Yellow, I'm using cadmium yellow. It's a warm yellow. What is that called exactly? You got cadmium yellow. Yeah, that's the one I'm using. PY35, if it helps the pigment. All right, so now what happens is that like a lot of people paint the sky and they see the sky as blue. I'm gonna paint it right on top. So they say, okay, well the sky is blue, right? And then the sun is yellow. So they grab some of this yellow and then start mixing it, and look at that, and you get that green. And that's just a bad combo because they're missing this whole orange purple barrier that will protect you from going from yellow to blue, right? So this is no bueno. Okay, can put it no bueno, malo. Don't do that. Okay, so now you want to now when you're working with impasto, you can continue using these same colors. Put some more, and you can enhance this yellow by using your palette knife and just placing it right on top, right? But what you don't want is to mix, right? You don't want to mix. You wanted it to place the color on top, right? So you still keep the color underneath, right? But if you mix, then you start getting mud. And that might be one of the problems that you were having, Liz. Same thing with the water. You go back and always, keep an eye that you're not picking up some of the yellow. And let me get more comfortable here. And then just place the color on top. So when you're working with impasto, a lot of what you do is your mixtures are here, right? You mix your whoops, there. So you mix your colors in the palette, and then you bring them to your canvas, right? You can do that. I know it's kind of have a buckle here, but there. And that's how you start lifting up your highlights, right? So those are the basics for the sky. I don't think you'll have much of a problem with that, Liz. Just try to keep your colors more pure. Don't mix them. Keep an eye on this transition from yellow to purple to blue. So it feels a lot more natural. And at the end of the day, that's the color wheel. Where's my color wheel? I don't have my color wheel here, but if you look at your color wheel, that's what it will do. It will go from yellow to purple to blue. And that's the right, that's the transition. Okay, so 100 minutes. Wow. That we did pretty good. I really hope that all this information helps you. We can continue doing this whenever we have difficulties meeting in person. If it rains or for whatever reason, we can do this these online meetings. I enjoyed it, and I'm glad that everybody now is able to comment and text and whatnot. So have a great lunch. I'm gonna go taste that chicken. I'm gonna take a small piece, not a big piece, a small piece, just to make sure it tastes good. And I will see you hopefully next week. And to Liz from Daytona, I will see you tomorrow. I think the weather is gonna cooperate, so we're going to be painting outdoors. For those of you that don't know, we're painting at Tomoka State Park. and we had some beautiful days. Um, tomorrow should be a nice day to paint plein air. Okay, have a wonderful rest of your day. And as always, if you have any questions, just text me, send to me. If I don't reply right away, I, I just want to let you know that I always look at your messages. That's just sometimes, I'm doing 100 things. So, but I always get to your text. Okay. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day.